Hi guys, how you going? Just want to spend a few minutes talking about the investigation. Now, the key idea here is that you are doing a project on something that you're obviously interested in, first of all. And keeping in mind, and like all of our investigations, the key is to show off that you actually know how to do the mathematics. Not only just do the mathematics, but also know how to interpret it. Alright, so just want to show you a couple of things that you will need to do. Now, probably the best place to actually develop a lot of the actual data and do your analysis is actually using Excel. Alright, so I've just opened up an example from one of the projects, which is the GPA versus attendance. The sort of thing that you might do, now obviously part of this project would be to take a random sample. Maybe looking at a random sample and how that might compare with the whole data. So you've got data sets for the 11s, 12s and 10s. So you'd actually take samples out of that, and so you can talk about your stratified samples and your systematic sample and so on for that. Now, once you've got some data, I'll just take some data here, like this is an example. If I've got that data, what I'd like to be able to do is generate some results in terms of graphs or tables or whatever I've got there. Alright, so I'm looking here, possibly do a scatter graph. Alright, so I've got a scatter graph there for my particular thing. Now, if you click on this icon up the top there, then you can label your chart title there, and you can label your axes. Alright, if you click on your data, now we can add a trend line. So if you right click on your mouse, go to add a trend line, and you can go linear, and then what we can do is we can display our equation there. Alright, so and then I can move that to the side, delete your legends over here. You don't really need them unless you've got more than one set of data there. And the key thing there is now I have my line of best fit that's been displayed, plus I also have my correlation. So 0.2, obviously that you're looking at a very, very weak correlation there, but it's a positive correlation. Alright, so you might find with some of your data sets that you're looking at that there is actually quite a strong correlation. So the secret here is we're not having to do the calculations really, we've got the data there that we've collected, and we're now looking at using technology to display that. Now that's data I've got here. Once I've set it up how I want it, I can copy that. I can then open up Word and I can paste it into Word like you've got there. So that can be now treated like any other picture that you've got. Alright, so if I right click on there, I can text wrap it, make it tight, and then I can just move it wherever I like. Okay, so that's sort of how you do your calculations. Now the other way you might want to display calculations is using a box and whisker plot. So I've included this on Edmodo for you. So let's say we want to do for our particular data set that we've got here. We'll just open up the one. So let's say I'm taking that data set there, and I'll just copy that. And then if I go to my box and whisker plot one, and if I just paste it in there, right, and then I can delete the rest of those, you see what I've got in terms of my box and whisker plot. Alright, so it tells me my value for my quartile and everything like that. So what I would suggest you do here, because you're really only interested in the box and whisker plot part of it, is just blowing up a little bit and then doing a print screen. Alright, so if I do a print screen, then I can actually paste that again into Word, double click on that, make it tight, and then I can crop that. Alright, so I can crop that for the bit that I'm actually interested in looking at, which is really my 5-number summary and also my actual graph itself. So then I can actually make that a little bit bigger, and there I go. Alright, so the data side of it, I'd really like you to use Excel, and I'm happy to give you as much help as you need with that. Alright, so obviously the techniques that you're really using for that, now that's two types of graphs that we've got there, which are obviously a scatter plot and a box and whisker plot. If you're going to be doing things like stem and leaf plots, then I suggest you set up a table to show your display. And what I'll do is I'll put some templates on Edmodo for you, and also on Daymap, that you can just use as a way to present that information in your table. And the other one probably you might do is the normal distribution stuff. Alright, so looking at that would be probably generally done more as a calculation than anything else. But a good way of probably displaying that might be to use a histogram. Alright, so obviously if you go to Excel, if we go back to Excel and look at our data set, if I insert there, I can insert a column graph there. Alright, so, and then, you know, if you've got your data set there, if you've got the right sort of table set up, you'll see that will be a nice sort of normal distribution. Alright, so again, if you want to do that and you need some help with that, make sure you come and ask me. Really, as I said before, the secret of this investigation is to find an idea about what you want to investigate. Make up a couple of questions, alright, and keep those in mind in terms of when you're looking at your data. See if you can find your data first of all, and then once you've got your data, then you need to be considering how you're going to present it and how you can then interpret the data that you might have. And that's really simply what we do in statistics, is we try and make an argument. Just one example might be, if we're looking at a grade point average, you know, we might have the argument that is, you know, your grade point average will be affected by your attendance, and we might be able to prove otherwise, or we might be able to confirm that guess that we've actually made with that. Alright, so I'd like you probably by the end of this term to make sure that you've got a project that you're starting on, so you can actually work on that in the holidays as well. Alright, so talk to me in class, and that's really where we'll be spending most of our time, is actually on our investigation.